Living within 35 barangays of Davao City is an indigenous group named the Bagobo Klata. The name Bagobo Klata derives from the word Klatang, which refers to a pole traditionally used as a house ladder. Bagobo Klata traditional houses were built on high stilts, with the hut's main floor elevated about twice the height of the person from the ground. These removable pole ladders were useful in warding off or delaying intrusions into houses during the time when headhunting and tribal wars were rampant. The Bagobo Klata is a tribe that identifies closely with their architecture. This is the vernacular house of the Bagobo Klata. I traveled all the way to Barangay Sirib in Calinan, Davao to witness and document the construction of the Bagobo Klata's vernacular house. If finished, it will be the first proper Bagobo Klata house in existence after a long time. The Pasalamat, an old ritual of the Bagobo Klata, is performed before construction. This ritual is performed by the Supreme Datu, tribe elders, and other members who will be involved in the activity at exactly 6 in the morning. The members of the ritual prepare trisby, the local tobacco, red wine, and food with native egg as offerings. During the ritual, the Supreme Datu recites a prayer in their native language and asks God for the success of the construction. The prayer ends with the members saying Togo, the Bagobo Klata's word for Amen. The house will be constructed on the Bagobo Klata Center where festivals and gatherings are held. Construction starts by marking an 8 by 10 feet plot on the site. Then, the Bagobo Klata excavates a 15-inch wide and 25-inch deep hole on the four corners of the site. The perforation on the ground is partly filled by stones and soil, which will serve as a rock bed for the main foundation of the structure. The Bagobo Klata then proceeds with the installation of the scaffolding. The technique performed by the tribe resembles a single scaffolding, wherein a series of vertical members made of bamboo is firmly fixed into the ground in a row parallel to the structure. After the preliminary scaffolding is secured, people start hauling mahogany, or kayu as the locals call it. To make it stand upright, a person pulls the log from atop the scaffolding while some of the men support it from underneath. Then, the foundation is temporarily secured to the scaffolding using strings. After establishing the foundation and the scaffolding, the construction of the floor begins. A notch is carved on the foundation 15 feet from the natural ground line. The girder, a 5-inch diameter mahogany log, is mounted onto the notch using rattan strings. A lateral girder is also installed on the mid-span of the framing to further support the floor plane. The floor joists are then secured on the girders with 6 inches of its ends cantilevered on the front and rear elevations. The floor panels are made by cutting the bamboos in half and further splitting them up into narrower sections. The bamboo splits are then laid flat and tied together temporarily before they are transferred to the floor frame. The installation of the bamboo floor mat allows the Bagobo Klata to work on the scaffoldings for the construction of the roof. For the roof framing, 4-inch diameter mahogany logs are first secured on the ends of the main foundation. The king post is then installed on the mid-span of the roof edge. Diagonal round logs are used as support to prevent the twisting force which may act on these members. The rafters, which are also made of 4-inch diameter mahogany logs, are secured to the roof edge in a 45-degree angle, while the purlins sit on top equidistant from each other. Finally, a frame made of 1.5-inch flattened bamboo is fixed to the purlins. The wall framing is constructed by carving a notch on the roof edge and the girder. Then, a 7-foot-long mahogany is fit into the notch. This process is repeated on all perimeters of the wall plane in equal distances to make the wall framing. This is how the roof panels are made. The type of bamboo being used here is called botong. It is a variation of a bamboo which has an average diameter of 4.5 inches and is harder as compared to laya, the type that is to be used for the wall panels. The bamboo is cut in varying lengths of 22, 25, and 28 inches. These finished roof panels are to be laid flat under the sun to pre-shrink for at least 3 days. This is to prevent some leaks that might occur if freshly cut bamboo is installed right away. Here we can see Kuya Rudy demonstrate how the roof panels will be tied on the roof panel framing with rattan strings. He explains here that the panels are sorted out by size and installed with the shortest ones being tied in first. 2 people are required for tying the panels in place. One will be at the top, setting up and installing the panels, while one would be assisting from inside the house. Aside from assuring that the knots are tightly done, the person assisting from the inside groups the panels by size and hands them out to the one installing from the top. The roof panels are installed in place before work on the walls begin. In Bagobo Klata, the wall that envelopes the facade of the house is called tapi. It is made of laya, a type of bamboo that is typically softer and grows approximately 4 inches in diameter. The tapi is made by tapping a bolo repeatedly onto the nodes and internodes of the bamboo. The bamboo is sliced entirely afterwards and it will then be laid flat.
Yes, please.
After laying out the flattened bamboo, the remaining inner parts of the node will then be evened out further using a broader type of bolo called badi. The finished tapi will then be laid out to dry under the sun. Wall panels are installed starting from the finished floor line upwards. The wall panels are installed by inserting them horizontally into wall clamps made from bamboo splits. Like the roof panels, 2 people are also required to tie the wall panels in place. One from inside the house and one outside with the scaffoldings. The person from the inside is the one who mainly ties the knots, while the person from the outside assists by receiving and wrapping the rattan back inside. The windows are to be cut out after the wall panels are installed. This is so that the same part of the wall panel that was cut out will be the same piece that will be fit for the window shutters. A more standard ladder was made for the house instead of the klatang. The pole ladder originally used by the Bagobo Klata's ancestors. This is because the Bagobo Klata envisions the house to be more welcoming to everyone who visits the center. Compared to the klatang, which was made to keep intruders out, this architectural development signifies a more welcoming structure. The construction of the vernacular house ends with the pasalamat. The ritual is performed inside the newly constructed house along with the wine, food, tobacco, native egg, and the tools used during the construction. The datu expresses gratitude through a prayer and blesses the house as well as the tools used in the construction. Moreover, he asks God for the good fortune and well-being of the house along with the members involved in its construction. The datu then drinks from the ritual wine and passes it on to every person who participated in the ritual. The ritual concludes with the act of releasing a white chicken from inside the house. This chicken used for the ritual will never be killed or used for cooking. For 3 days, the newly constructed house is not to be inhabited, and the tools used during construction is not to be brought outside the house. As Filipinos, it is important for us to look back and recognize our own cultural values and identity. The Bagobo Klata have shown us how living conditions of human beings significantly affect their vernacular architecture. The Bagobo Klata's ancestors adapted with the conditions of their time, and it is through their architecture that we can still see and experience their culture today. This is the vernacular house of the Bagobo Klata.